All right, starting section 1.2, circumference and area of circles. All right, now the distance from the center of a circle to its edge is called from the center to the edge, it's called the radius. All right, and the variable for radius is r. The distance across a circle passing through the center is called so going all the way across, passing through the center, is the diameter. The variable for diameter is d, and the perimeter of a circle is more specifically called the circumference, c. Okay. Now the symbol pi is called, or right there, this symbol is called pi, which is approximately equal to 3.14. And there's the approximation symbol. All right, now the formula for the circumference of a circle is circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Now the formula for the area of a circle is area is equal to pi r squared. All right, now here's one little trick to remember the difference between these formulas, because students often confuse them. So to remember the circumference formula, just remember this. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, circumference equals 2 pi r. I'm not going to do that again. You get it one time. Just remember twinkle, twinkle, little star, and you'll remember the circumference formula. And you won't confuse it with the area formula. All right, going on to the next part. Find the circumference and area of the circle for part A and B. Leave the answer in terms of pi. Okay, so the circumference is equal to 2 pi r. And in this problem, r is equal to 3. So then I have 6 pi. And it says leave in terms of pi, so that means I do not plug in 3.14 for pi. Okay, and I'm working with millimeters, so just making sure I have the correct units there. Okay, there's the circumference. Now for the area is pi r squared. And I'm equal to pi r, which is 3. All right, so then I end up with 9 pi. And it's going to be millimeters, and since we're working with area, we have square units. All right, on to the next problem. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Now, r in this case is half the diameter. This is the diameter, 14. I want the radius, which is 7. All right, so I plug in 7. So now I have 14 pi. And that's millimeters. Okay, then I have the area, which is equal to pi r squared, and that equals pi r. R is 7. So I end up with 49 pi for my area. It's going to be feet squared. And I just realized I wrote millimeters before, so let me erase that real quick. And then we got feet. Okay. Now find the area of the circle. Round your answer to the nearest 10th decimal place. All right. So I'm going to find the area. Area is equal to pi r squared. I have to use the radius. So radius is 2. I have pi times 2 squared. So then I end up with 4 pi. And I want to figure out the actual decimal, so this time I'm going to plug in 3.14 for pi. And I end up with 12.56. And if I'm going to round it to the nearest 10th decimal place, this is the 10th decimal place. So since the number to the right is 5 or greater, then it's going to be 12.6. And that's my area. And there are no particular units of measurement here, so I just write units squared. Done. Example 2, find the area of the figure. Leave your answer in terms of pi. Okay, so what is the area of this figure? Well, how much of a circle is this? All right, That's a whole circle. So I'm essentially working with a fourth of a circle, or a quarter. So when you're setting up your area formula, you're going to use pi r squared for a whole circle. But since I'm working with a quarter of a circle, or 1/4 of a circle, I'm going to multiply by 1/4. And that'll give me the correct area. All right, so I have 1/4 pi r, in this case, is equal to what? Well, the radius starts from the center and it goes out. So in this case, it's 4. So I end up with 1/4 pi times 16. And then I have 4 pi. So the area is equal to 4 pi, and it's inches squared. Alrighty, done with that. Going on to the next problem. All right, now how much of a circle do I have here? Well, if I complete this, then I have a whole circle. So how much of a circle do I actually have? Well, how many fourths do I have here? Here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. I have 3 different fourths of a circle. So setting up my formula, here's pi r squared for a whole circle, but I don't want a whole circle, I want 3/4 of a circle. All right, so there's my setup. So now I have 3/4 pi, and r is 4. So I end up with 3/4 pi times 16. All right, 4 goes into 16 how many times? 4 times. So I end up with 12 pi. And it's going to be meters squared. Done. For example 3, a rectangle has a width of 3 inches and its perimeter is 20 inches. What is the length of the rectangle? Okay, so here I have a rectangle, and it's saying its width is 3 inches. All right, and the perimeter is 20. Okay, well, I know this is the width. I'll call this the length. All right, and I know the perimeter is equal to length plus width, or in other words, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. All right, so what do I have to work with here? Well, they gave me the perimeter. I'm going to plug that in. And they also gave me the width, so I'll plug that in. All right, so I have 20 is equal to 2L plus 6. Subtract 6. I have 14 is equal to 2L. Divide by 2. And L is equal to 7. And it's going to be, what units are we working with here? We're working with inches, 7 inches. All right, for the next one. The area of a rectangle is 54 centimeters squared, and its base is 9 centimeters. What is the height of the rectangle? Okay, here we have a rectangle. The base is 9. The area is 54 centimeters squared. Okay, so area is equal to base times the height. All right, so I'll call this the base. This is the height. And I have the area, which is 54, and the base, which is 9, and then I have the height. All right, so then I divide by 9, and h is equal to what? 9 goes into 54 how many times? 6 times. So my height is 6 centimeters. Done. For part C, the area of a triangle is 84 square units and its height is 12 units. What is the length of the base of the triangle? Okay, so here I have a triangle. It says the area is 84 square units, and it says the height is 12. So here the height is 12. What is the length of the base? So I need to figure out the base. All right, the area formula for a triangle is half base times height. So the area is 84. And that's equal to half the base, which is, I don't know, and the height, which is 12. So I end up with 84 is equal to 6b. Then I divide by 6. And 6 goes into 84 how many times? It goes in there 14 times. All right, 14, and it's going to be units. Done. All right, for part D, the area of a triangle is 56 inches squared, and its base is 7 inches. What is the height of the triangle? Okay, so I'm going to have a triangle once again, and the area is 56. Always write down all your important pieces of information. We have the base, which is 7. What is the height? What's the height? Okay, so area is equal to, once again, half base times height, or base times height divided by 2, same thing. And the area is 56. Then I have half of the base, which is 7, times h. Okay, now you could take half of 7, which is 3.5, but instead of having to work with decimals, I'll just do this from the very beginning. To get rid of the fraction, I'll multiply by the denominator on both sides. So it cancels out, and then I end up with 112 equals 7h. I divide by 7, and h is equal to 16. And it's going to be inches in this case. Done. For the next problem, the circumference of a circle is 14 pi yards. Okay, circumference is 14 pi. What is the diameter of the circle? Okay, well, here's the circumference formula. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. All right, well, I could plug this into the formula, and I get 14 pi is equal to 2 pi r. This allows me to figure out the radius. So these cancel out, and I'm left with 7 is equal to r. Now, what is the diameter equal to? Well, the diameter is equal to 2 times whatever the radius is. So 2 times 7, and the diameter is equal to 14. And it's going to be yards. Done. All right, for F, the area of a circle is 81 pi meters squared. 81 pi. All right, now it says, what is the radius of the circle? Now, the area formula is pi r squared. So I'm going to take the area and I'm going to plug it in. 81 pi is equal to pi r squared. Okay, now I could divide by pi because I'm trying to isolate the r squared. So now I have r squared is equal to 81. And how do you get rid of the square? I'm going to square root both sides. So I get r is equal to 9. Now some students ask, well wait, whenever you introduce a square root, isn't it positive and negative? True, but can you have a negative radius, a negative length? No, you can't. So you don't even worry about the negative case often when you're working with geometry and you're figuring out lengths. So the radius is equal to positive 9. And it's going to be meters. All right, last set of problems. The perimeter of a rectangle is 20 inches. And the width is 3 inches. What is the area of the rectangle? Okay. Let's see, I got, this is 3. All right, and I'll call this the width. This is the length. That looks like 3w. That's the width. Let's not confuse the two. Okay, so I have perimeter, which is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, or L plus W plus W. I'm going to plug this in, and I'm going to plug that in, and I get 20 is equal to 2L plus 2 times 3. So I get 20 is equal to 2L plus 6, subtract 6. I get 14 is equal to 2L. Then I divide by 2, and L is equal to 7. All right, so if I want to figure out the area of this rectangle, area is equal to length times width. So I have the length, which is 7, and the width, which is 3. So I end up with 21. It's going to be 21 inches squared. All right, done with this one. All right, let's go on to B. All right, the length of a rectangle is 2 less than 3 times the width. Okay, the length. The length of a rectangle is 2 less than 3 times the width. All right, so this description often confuses students. So let's work with the second part. 3 times the width. 3 times the width. And it's 2 less than that, so that means we're subtracting 2 from it. All right, they tell you the perimeter is 76. Find the dimensions, meaning the width and the length of the rectangle. Okay, so here I have a rectangle, the length, the width. This is 3w minus 2. Perimeter is equal to 2l plus 2w. So just plug in all the information we have. 76 is equal to 2 times L, which is 3W minus 2. And then I have plus 2W. So I'm going to distribute here. And up with 76 equals 6W minus 4 plus 2W. Add like terms. I get 76 is equal to 8W minus 4 plus 4. 80 equals 8W. Divide by 8, and W is equal to 10. All right, then the length is equal to 3 times 10 minus 2. So the length is equal to 28. So to describe the dimensions, we would say 10, what are the units? Feet. So we would say 10 feet by 28 feet. All right, that's how you express dimensions. You would say 10 feet by 28 feet. All right, and that's our answer. Done. All right, now begin the assignment on the webpage. Make sure to ask for help if you need any.